Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the channel. My name is Tony. This is the 15-minute gaming channel, and we're in a set of course at Comparative today to answer a question: can you sim race with a controller? Now, we're not just going to go yes, because obviously you can. However, how does it compare to a steering wheel and pedals? So, what I've done is a bit of a challenge. I was wondering this just the other day, could I have gotten a sim racing earlier without needing the kit of the steering wheel and pedals? Could I have just picked up my Xbox controller and got into sim racing? Obviously, there's certain caveats here. Like games like F1 2020, of course you can use a controller. It's kind of made for that. Same as Gran Turismo Sport. Yeah, you can pick up a controller and I'm sure you can have fun on that all day long. We're going into proper sims here, and a set of Corsa Competizione is a proper GT World Challenge Simulator game. It's also just one of my favorites and the best out there. So, what is the challenge? We have a quick race. We have 15 minutes, 28 opponents, and we're starting slap bang in the middle at 14. We'll set the opponent's skill to 80 and the aggressiveness to 80 as well, because I didn't want them punting me off all day long and the video just be me in gravel traps. So there's that. With Silverstone, which for me, I love Silverstone. I think it's such a cool track. Also, to keep it fair, I also know Silverstone from being in sim racing because it's a track I've been mainly playing the most of because I really like it. So I know where to brake, roughly how to do. So I didn't have to sit and learn how to use the controller, then learn the track, then use the steering wheel. And was selected my favorite car in probably any sim racer, the Chevrolet Camaro GT. For this thing is a beast. It is quick, it looks mean as hell, and also you can throw it around to your heart's content, which for me, as a starter in sim racing, that is perfect. So I've had a lot of fun in that. And what I'm going to do, just run these videos side by side, and we're going to watch the race unfold and see how the laps look, how it handles. Do I go off with either? How easy is it with the controller? I'm going to offer a little bit of commentary over the top. So I suppose the question is, was it worth spending, once I got the stand, over £300? Or could I have gotten a sim racing ages ago with my controller and just seen what happened? So without further ado, let's crack on with it. So the picture you see in the main screen is of the controller, bottom left is of the steering wheel. You can see same position. I've lined them up as best as I can. To give a fair representation, I was going to put like kind of side by side comparison, but you would just end up with like a really elongated screen or really compressed badly or whatever. So, and as we're here to see what the controller does, I thought we'd put that as the main thing. So you can see starting from 14th here, got a bit of a Murray Walker going on, and we're getting set for the green light start. Go, 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 go. So I move straight in the middle there, because the only thing with Silverstone, I kind of bunch up a little bit, keep away from the back of that car. The only problem was with the controller, the braking is slightly different from what I'm used to on the pedals, because when you're using pedals, if you kind of brake down, you can control your braking, but with the controller, it's kind of on or off. So you can see there, I hit the back of the Aston Martin as well as the back of the Mercedes before. So I've got 2 racing penalties before I even start for hitting cars. One thing I will say is that the difference between the two, I found the controller, you were kind of jerking around more. Like, you weren't heading in a straight line. It was like jerk, jerk, jerk. You know, like that glitchy thing on Wreck-It Ralph. That's what I kind of felt like. I just couldn't kind of keep it in a straight, normal line. To go around a curve, you kind of jank around. It's like a little bit of a hit each time. So, yeah, you can see both. I'm 11th in the top, 10th at the bottom. So I'm already a place ahead using the steering wheel. But then I go for a massive overtake down the inside there. Take 3 cars in the 9th. On the steering wheel, I was a little bit more cautious there. Because, again, it was more the brakes. I didn't mean to do. I was like, oh, God. I'm now going to go fly down these cars. It was kind of on them oh shit moments. So, yeah, moving into 8th. As you can see at the top now. Overtaking that. Is it called Nextbow? I think they're called. Or Crossbow, something like that. In 13th in the bottom screen. I got a bit caught up there in traffic. well off the road there. I lost a little bit of control. What I will say is when you're using the controller, oh, it's a something like that. Again, it's just their brakes. I just was not used to them. It means like you just can't control your braking quite as well. Oh, it looks so jerky. Just wait until I put the replay on that three. That three, I've got the proper outside view replay going on, and you'll just see how jerky it looks. It's unreal with the controller. I know with settings and options I could probably smooth that out a little bit, like, you know, just add the smoothness in, which I did on the original Assetto Corsa when I played that years ago. Like, there was a setting where you could just smooth that steering out, and it looks really funny if you got the steering wheel on, because it's like flipping around in circles as you try to turn. So yeah, that's something I would recommend you kind of look into if you're going to use a controller. Crossing the line for the first lap, we've got a 2:30. What, 2:37 at the top and 2:37 at the bottom? Really, I think they're both the same times. The bottom one was slightly quicker, ever so slightly quicker, but very relevant sort of times there. Didn't lose much, with 7th at the top and 7th at the bottom. There you go. How much consistency could you want in there? So yeah, it was and we're on track for lap time predicted is way better at the bottom at the moment. You can see I'm behind this McLaren here. And the only thing with that McLaren's brake lights can be a little bit like, sometimes you struggle to see them. I'm going to do a video soon where I talk about how to learn any track quickly within a sim racer. And this method here that I'm using to compare these two is kind of very close to it. So just keep an eye out for that video. It's going to be a bit of a fun one because it's something I've been doing obviously in real time at the moment. So yeah, taking that car there, beautifully taken on the outside with the controller. You can see we're a tiny little bit ahead down below. Smashing there, again, the brakes. I just was not used to, so I had a bit of an excursion off-road. Didn't make any time up. But yeah, that's something you've got to be aware of if you're going to be using the controller. Is them little bit of excursions. I found with the controller, when you were going to lose your back end, you didn't kind of notice as much. It was kind of like the back end just went. As you can imagine, because there's no force feedback, well, there is a tiny little bit of buzzing and stuff, but not proper force feedback. When you've got the steering wheel in your hand, you're kind of like fighting for that control. With the controller, that was a very dangerous moving almost. But 5th at the top, 4th at the bottom. So again, very similar. That's why I didn't put the opponent difficulty up too high, because I wanted a fun experience. I didn't want it to be too serious or stuck at the back or stuck behind slow cars. I just wanted to get some fast laps in, see what I could do, have a little bit of a fight. You know, I knew the top 4 or 5 were going to be more difficult, but overall, it wasn't too bad as we're coming down for this final section here. This one could be a little bit hard. Drop it into 3rd gear, keep tight. And then usually I drop it into 2nd and keep inwards, but there was a car coming. I thought that car might win the back, so I was a bit worried. But I go for the undertake, back off a little bit, and remove into the external camera. So I'm just going to let you enjoy the game, the engine sounds, and yeah, there's a really bad crash at the top in a second. Did you see how janky that was? It was like glitching all over the place. But we're back with lap 4. As you can see now, at the bottom I've moved into second. I'm still 5th at the top, so there's a 3-place difference at the moment. Lap times are fairly similar. It was just that last one because I went off track. Obviously I moved back a little bit. I just, again, brakes, wasn't concentrating properly. I lost a bit of concentration, didn't hit the brakes in time. Punted into that side of that car. If that'd been online racing, there would have been some annoyed people, I can tell you. And there you go, on the bottom with the steering wheel, I've moved into 1st place, way ahead of the controller. But on the bottom, I haven't had an accident yet. I would have probably been very close to 1st if I hadn't had that little bit of an accident on there. But yeah, apart from the jankiness, driving with the controller as I move into almost 4th position now. I took 4th position now. Very close to the back of that Mercedes. Don't know why, I think I've crashed in that Mercedes more time than any other car in there when I've been playing around on Silverstone. I was trying to look at the stats for Silverstone while I was having a look there just to bring up some of the race results and stuff like that. There you go, overtaking him on that bend. 3rd place! Can you believe it, guys? I didn't expect that. I didn't know what to expect from using the controller. And you can see I'm 2.2 seconds up on my lap as I kind of misjudged that again. I found that corner very hard with the controller for some reason. It was just not getting that pressure on the brake pedals I'm used to slowing down for that corner. And you can see the difference in scale now. I mean, the bottom screen were almost at the end of this straight, so we're actually almost a straight ahead at this point, which is quite a big difference, as you can imagine. But apart from the jankiness, using the controller actually isn't that bad. You know, I was able to feel a lot more relaxed, and again, another excursion off the road, just not quite used to that brake. As you can tell with the one in the bottom left hand corner, going off road hasn't really happened. I'm still in 1st. I'm in 2nd now along the top, so position wise not too bad really, and I'm still 2.8 ahead because even though I've had that bit of excursion, it didn't send me down too much. And we've got a 2:23 as the fastest lap on the top, and a 2:21 so far on the bottom. So you can see steering wheel at this point in time is around about a second quicker, and the bottom screen I've just spun off. I just was getting a little bit too cocky. Had to be very careful. One thing, if you are going to take up sim racing, be very careful when you're coming back on the track as well. And I tend to get a little bit grumpy when I come back on the track, and I push and push and push to make that time up, and it never works out well. So on this one I did sort of, I've learned to kind of take the time back, and not just spin the tyres as you're trying to get off the grass. And you can see it on the top, we're already 1.7 seconds quicker than our previous lap. It was a 2:23 is our quickest so far. In this current rate, we're going to take it down to almost a 2:22, which is only a second slower. Well, in fact, yeah, just over a second slower than steering wheel, which again, come very close in that sort of timings, which I just can't believe. I just was not expecting that at all. And because we've had an off at the bottom, we've dropped back to second. So really, we're in the same place. Yeah, a little bit more ahead, but we've actually caught up in relative terms. And I'm not the best sim racer, and obviously I've only been doing it for a few weeks now. So this isn't, I'm sure if I was a top sim racer, this would be not even a competition. But the question is, can you get into sim racing with a controller? That's what I want to answer. Do you need all this expensive kit? Do you need these triple monitors and rigs and steering wheels and all? Do you need it? And that's what I want to answer. And as someone who's not very versed in the world of sim racing yet, I'm getting there, I'm getting better, I'm improving as I go off again. That question can still be answered because I haven't got these preconceptions. I'm not some sort of sim racing snob who's going to go, oh no, you need all the best equipment to take part in all of this. You know, I'm not like that because I'm new to all this, so I feel like I could give it a very fair chance. And I'm not the best sim racer, so it doesn't matter if I put a controller in my hand or a steering wheel, I'm still going to not be able to hit all them apexes. I'm not going to know where to brake or anything, so it's going to be a very fair test. to put together, I think. So let's see what we're doing. We're still at what, a 2:21.7 along the top and a 2:21.7 along the bottom. We're actually similar times now. Can you believe that? Actually brought it back. I really didn't think at this point that the controller was going to go anywhere near the steering wheel. But as you can see, very, very close. And we're coming up to the penultimate lap here. When we cross the finish line, it will be the final lap. And you can see track-wise, at the bottom, we're still a little bit ahead. We're just hitting along, yeah, we're about, what, a couple of seconds. And I'm just heading up towards the back of this crossbow, which is to take first place. Very, very close to it now. And he's slowed down to second. And I was going to try and take him there, but he's covering the inside pretty well. So I didn't want to risk it. You don't want to risk it for a biscuit. You can see on the bottom though, we've currently got, we're ahead by 1:22 at the bottom, 1:21. So at this current pace, we're going to hit a 2:20, which is 1.7 seconds quicker than the controller. So I take, oh, he just cuts me off there. The AI on the Assetto Corsa Comparative is actually pretty good. It will cut you off. And on the higher aggression settings, they can be really, really difficult to overtake, to be fair, really. Just going through this section here, you can see I got the braking a bit better that time. I'm going to try and go for the undercut, but I don't quite get the speed off there. Along the bottom now, you can see we're still on for a 2:20.7 along the top. We're currently on a 2:23. Well, that's what the record we're going to get. So 2:21. There we go. Overtake him. Going to break him down. The AI, I do notice, brakes a little bit too early for this. So it is quite a nice little place to overtake. But you've always got to be careful from him cutting back. But he backs off. And we're into the lead. So we've got lead on screen 1 and screen 2. Bottom steering wheel is about to cross the finish line now onto the final lap, and we're just going to head along there along the top onto the final lap as well. Currently we're running a 2:21.765 and a 2:20.7 is the fastest lap at the bottom. Along the top, I'm going to let you into a little secret. Watch this top lap. It gets pretty good, and I pull it out of the bag. I wasn't expecting to. So you can see here we're currently 0.17 behind. Bottom screen we're 110 ahead. Yeah, so we're currently, like, you know, you can see the bottom steering wheel. I was getting a bit cocky. I was like, I can do this. I'm going to pull a really fast lap out the bag. Along the top, I kind of went, I'm not sure. You can see I'm already half a second down. Along the bottom, I'm 0.3 up. So coming down here, I kind of thought, I'm not going to really do it. I'm a bit too far behind. But if you look at the top where it says consistency, I'm driving consistent and maintaining the speed, even though I almost lost it back there a little bit. Come around this corner though, you can see there we're caught by about two tenths of seconds. On the bottom, we're still 0.3 ahead. So along the bottom is going a very good lap. Come along that back straight there, the other pit entrance. You can see how far ahead we are just at that bottom of the screen there. There we go, we're just popping around the back now. But you can see I've caught up by half a second. I pulled a second out the bag in that sector. Whereas the other screen, I've lost a second somehow. So yeah, look through here, move up to a second quicker. Now can you see what's happening here? 0.13. We're actually predicted a 2:20, a 2:19. Along the bottom, we're predicting a 2:20.5. There is 0.4 of a second in it with the controller actually in the lead at this point in time. We'll come down the last straight on the bottom screen. We're at 2:20.7. The top one is predicted at 2:20.2. Believe it or not, can you believe how close it is? They're within 0.2 of a second now difference. It's all about to go wrong on the bottom. I hit the grass. I try and take it too wide. I'm gone. I'm gone into the barrier. That would have been a 2:20.3. Look at the bottom, guys. We've actually got it to a 2:19.2, believe it or not. Look at that. Across the line in 2:19.2. Now, let's have a look at these lap times. So let's take a look at them lap times. Lap 1 was a 2:37.8, 2:26.5, 2:31.2 for lap 3. Lap 4, 2:23.8. Lap 5, 2:21.7. Lap 6, 2:23.5. Lap 7, 2:19.3. Right, and let's take a look at the race with the steering wheel. Lap 1 was a 2:36. Lap 2 was a 2:21. Lap 3 was a 2:23. A 2:22 for lap 4. Lap 5 was a 2:29. Lap 6 was a 2:20. Lap 7, because of that terrible mistake at the end, a 2:27. Given the fastest lap at a 2:20. I cannot believe this. The controller was a second quicker. I literally can't believe it. Like, I think lap 7 was a good one on the steering wheel. If I hadn't spun out at the end, I think I might have matched it. But there we go. There's some interesting results for you. Right, and there you have it. So what have we learned today? We have learned that yes, you can use the controller on sim racing. Yes, you can be just as competitive, if not maybe a little bit more competitive, but it has the full-on caveat of it's not as immersive. I don't think it's as fun. It's still fun to do because you're sim racing. I still had a really good race with the controller. I don't feel like you're in control of the car as well. But I think for me, it's the immersion factor. I think that's what lets it down. You don't quite feel like you're there driving the car. You haven't got that feedback. You haven't got that, you know, when you touch a curb, you're bouncing all over the place. You're having to control it a lot better with the skids, you know, if you lose the back end. With the steering wheel, yes, you can feel it and you know what to pull about. With the pad, not so much. I can't believe that I got faster time with the controller. I'm still in disbelief over that. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Was it educational? Yeah, I guess so. Was it a fun thing to do? Yes. And I think, you know, if you want to get the sim racing and you're sitting there like, I can't afford £300 at the moment, pick your controller up, have a go. It's janky. It's not as fun. It's not as immersive. But you know what? Get your practice in. Get your racecraft sorted. I would think if you're trying to hit every single apex and go for super fast lap times, I doubt you'd be able to do it. But for sure, you can pick it up and have some fun. And you know what? Sometimes that's what gaming's about. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. And I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.